Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Going on?
And watching a read, you're saying following. I'm a financial advisor. This is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There's significant financial risk associated with options trading. And I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Let's hop right into things. All right, so Friday's sector performance, tech led the charge, followed by hey, sorry, guys. The notification, you guys got the notification, right? Went out.
Yeah, I came out.
Cool, just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so tech led the charge for Friday, and the worst performing sector was basic materials, followed by comm services. For the week, comm services led the charge, and healthcare was the worst performing sector. Let's just take a closer look at the heat map for the week. You can see that Google was on there and Tesla's on there heavy to the upside. They shorted NVIDIA. I'm looking at Eli Lilly, United Health. These were some of the worst performers on in the stock market last week, and some of the best performers. You see AVGO was up 25% on the week. Pretty good. Right. Yeah, I didn't update these slides right here because I said that I would actually, what I wanted to do, I was just going to bring up the channel and just see how the team did to do that instead of highlighting. It was too many good trades to just to choose. So I said I'll just bring the channel up and let's just take a look at it real time and see who's in here, what's going on. So that's what we're going to do now. All right, so I'll just start here. All right, okay, they snuck in here on Friday, this morning. Okay, so yeah, I see got some. Oh, this was a nice one. So Juice, he killed AVGO. That was a nice profit on there. 335 to $2,000. We had the and then that was it. So shout out to Juice on this meta trade. He killed this meta trade. It's a pretty good profit on here.
Killed it.
Yeah, just sniper. That was a quick sniper move on there. So again, I'm just going through a few of these just to see. Like the team had a pretty big week. Now I'll be on threads sometimes and seen a lot of people talking about they traded AVGO. Y'all ain't traded like we did. So shout out to y'all, but they ain't traded like we did. I ain't see contracts like that.
No, they didn't.
On a one contract per that basis. That was a pretty good, pretty solid trade. Yeah, so pretty big profits for the week on that AVGO. See a lot of members killed that trade, and a pretty big trade. Yeah, Adobe was another one. Pretty nice trade on that one too. Adobe. It's another nice trade from Juice. AK was in Adobe. Oh shit, that was the morning after, right? When we traded.
Yeah, that was morning after.
It's down. So yeah, that was a good thing. And I'm glad I wanted to talk about that. So there'll be more of those type of assignments too coming out for the team where we go in and where I pretty much I told the team that that it was given 475 vibes. So, and everybody knew what to do. They marched right down there. Drew said he traded it twice. He traded it twice. So that was a pretty big trade. That was a pretty good one. Pretty good one. QQQ was another nice trade from last week. But yeah, we had a lot of good trades last week. I just wanted to kind of go through the channel, see what everybody did, and some pretty good trades. Some pretty good trades came in here last week. You know, so I'm glad to see more people involved in the trades and taking the trades. So that's pretty good. And yeah. So, but yeah, so that's about it. I don't go through the whole channel and then just highlight some of the trades. But yeah, team, get into it. All right, so yeah, I didn't update this slide yet. So again, it's still November. I mean, still December. So we haven't updated the month anyhow for December yet. But so I can't wait to the month will be over soon. We had at the midway point, but I said the second half of this month is typically the second half of this month is a lot slower because got a lot of vacation coming up for Christmas and then New Year's. So we got 2 holidays at the end of for these next 2 weeks. I mean, for the latter half of the month. But this week is going to be pretty impactful though. Not only do we have, and we're going to get to this a little later, but this is a quad witching week. So, and so it's going to be, I think a lot of positions get closed. This is where quarterly options and futures contracts expire, the monthly and quarterly and yearly. So this is the biggest one. This is the biggest quad witching that we have, a quadruple witching, because of the fact that we got the quarterly, the monthly, and the yearly contracts expiring. So it's going to be pretty, to close out a lot of positions, start new positions. Now, again, I'm still not sure whether or not we don't know how the year is going to end for the stock market yet. We just don't know. But so we just, how we do, we just follow the price action around here. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of touch on that. We're going to go more into it when we get to the economic data and stuff like that. But pretty solid month so far. I just feel like we've gotten all of the volatility that we've been looking for. It's been a lot of volume pumping, it's just been a lot of opportunities in the market. So it's just hopefully it stays like this, but we have a good week this week. But just want to say one thing about quad witching. Everybody look at Friday being the actual day, but I'm gonna tell you what I've learned over the years is quad witching is the whole week. It's the whole week. So you got the smarter positions. Think about it. If you're closing out your positions and you're not going to wait until everyone's closing them to close yours. You want to get the most out of it. They'll be closing them all throughout the week. And some people may be starting new positions at the end of the week, but they'll be closing them out throughout the whole week. So, we got some volatile situations happening, like the rate decision, stuff like that. I do think we get another 25 basis point cut this month, but this week, but we'll see what happens. All right, so let's just go right into it. Instead of, we normally do a lessons learned recap around this part, but I'm doing this a little differently this time. So to the topic of today's sermon is concentrate your forces. And one of the reasons why I always tell my traders, especially when I'm training and I got new traders, I say, look, choose one stock and focus on that one stock. Because if you just choose one stock and you focus on one stock, everything that you want to learn, that you're trying to learn, that you can't figure out while you're all over the place, you'll be able to do it by focusing on that one stock. And just to go a little deeper into what I mean is, it's like, for example, trading is 99% waiting. So, you just have to wait. It doesn't matter how long it is, you have to wait. No setup, no trade. So if you're concentrating your forces on just one stock, you get to see that consolidation. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the move. You get to see the whole market structure forming, and you can start to plan out your move. Like I said, it's not chess, it's not checkers, it's chess. And we always use the term shoot the general around here. If you're sitting there, snipers sometimes have to stake out for weeks and sometimes even months to wait for that target. And when they finally get an opportunity to shoot the general, they execute immediately. They don't hesitate, they don't wait. But if you're all over the place in different trades, it's easy to get startled when you think you found the setup or your setup is playing out on another stock because you weren't really concentrating your forces and waiting. It's just so much stuff you'll learn. I've had traders tell me before, well, I don't have time to look up news and research things like you do or whatever. I'm like, if you were focusing on one stock, you would, because while that stock is consolidating, they got this event coming up this day, or this is how it normally responds to this type of news. This is what it does. You can focus, you can look at so many different things about that stock. It's just so many ways you can do it. But what happens is while you're concentrating your forces, you're also training yourself. And anything that you'll learn to do with one stock, you can apply to other stocks. Now, obviously, stocks move. You got stocks that move different ways, but it's just something that you want to do. Concentrate your forces, and that's just
Yeah, I know I've done that. Like y'all know, Antoine taught me initially was like, you should look at Microsoft. He gave the same spew that he just gave. Like, you have to learn how to concentrate your forces on one stock. And I will watch Microsoft, and Microsoft doesn't make these great dynamic moves like a lot of the other ones that we play, but it will make some nice moves. But it did teach me about market structure. It was boring though. It was very boring because everything else is like pumping and moving, but I'm looking at all of these things coming together. It's helping me put that puzzle together. And so I would just read up every day. I would read up on different things about Microsoft and what's happening. What are they having any issues, any lawsuits, anything that could bring any volatility to the stock? So now I can apply all of those same concepts to other stocks, and I feel so much more comfortable in that now because I did that before.
Exactly. And but again, like you said, it just brings everything back in a full circle when you do that. Because again, if you're just in plays and you have no real plan, a lot of times what happens is your entries are late. You're jumping out early because you jumped in late. You jump in that no man's land. There's no real plan. You're not familiar with how the stock moves, and just all over the place. And if you're in like multiple trades, a lot of times you're going to miss something. If you're in
Mhm.
Meta and Nvidia or say Meta and Tesla at the same time, you're going to miss
Mhm.
something. You're not going to be able to fully capitalize on one of those moves, or you may miss something. But like, and then that's why it's important to just concentrate your forces. I told y'all like so over a month ago, I said save some money, because when Meta breaks 600, it's going to run like a bat out of hell. When Meta broke 600, we were ready and we made a whole lot of money. So it's just something that you got to be ready for. But when everybody know that's the most of the money that we made in this group over the history of this group has come from Meta. So if you go back and do the research, like Meta has paid this group for years.
That's the bread and butter. That's the bread and butter of the group.
Yeah, so but if you focus on one stock and you then you can apply those things, like I said, to other stocks. But when you're all over the place, it becomes overwhelming and you're not able to capitalize. That's why we're able to take one contract and you can make a whole lot of money off of one contract around here for the most part. You see the profits, people, they got to use 10 contracts, 20 contracts or whatever to make the money that we make with one contract. Because when you're really playing off of the market structure and you buying that support, or you buying that resistance for puts, or you break, different things. And you got these real targets. You're not just jumping in off of a lower time frame. You're really looking at you're building these positions, and we swing a lot of times. I'm a swing trader at heart, but I love a nice bull flag breakout on a lower time frame too. But I'm just saying, most of our money coming from some nice swing trades from a move that was planned. We saw this setup on a stock, and it was likely to play out like this. And so it all comes from concentrating your forces. And I'm telling y'all, like, I know everybody want to trade. I get it. Everybody want to be in these plays and make this money, but you have to learn to concentrate your forces so that way you are able to fully capitalize on these moves, and you're in it for the long haul. Because again, those quick moves, you may get them and they work every now and then, but that confidence comes from concentrating your forces and really locking in on a move that takes some time to build. So just wanted to
Yep,
put.
that's just like the other day, probably a few weeks ago. We were talking, Tesla broke 300 and started running, and people were already pumped like, oh, it's going to 400 right now. And Antoine was like, look, I'm not really paying attention to it on that note until it breaks 350. So, Antoine knows I'm like laser focused when I hear things like that. Now I'm foxing. Now I'm only watching that to see, is it gonna break this level? When it broke and held over there, I'm automatically in the trade. Made a bang early in the morning, like the next day. Like it's concentrating and saying, I'm not jumping all over the place. And there may have been other trades called, but I want to stick to that. I want to stick to the one that I feel is going to be that big mover. That's going to give me that big solid move. And when you see those big levels, like that's something that hasn't broken for years prior, that's when you can say, okay, this is probably going to be one of those bigger moves that's going to, give you a lot very quickly. Because I work. So, I tell people, I hear people in the group all the time, like, I can't trade, or I couldn't really watch it because I was working. And I laugh at that because I'm like, I've worked full time the whole time that I've traded. But I knew that swing trading was going to be the trading style for me because of that. So I worked on that style, and I said, I'm going to watch, I'm going to fox and concentrate on one thing so that I'm not trying to, I'm able to get in and out the market in the morning and make my money quickly so that I can get back to work. So, we just have to, like he said, we just concentrate and everything on what you got to do. Like, don't try to jump and do too much because, yeah, you aren't going to be able to do it when you're at work. You do have to go back to work. So what are you going to do? Are you going to jump into three trades just because somebody said something in the group? Or are you going to wait and watch and be patient and say, okay, this is the one and I'm going to swing this, or this is the one within this time frame and I'm going to take this opportunity so that I can get back to work.
Exactly what she said. So, but she's thinking is, but if you're just all over the place, you don't have the time to really, you can't really sit there and just and come up with this plan. You just be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm, because you don't know, you're not really, but if you're in a, like she said, a swing trade, you're planning for this trade, you already know what your targets are, and and you're planning for that. But like those just random trades where you're just jumping in as impulsive. I was telling a trader the other day, and they were just talking about, they jumped in and out of these trades so quickly. And I always tell y'all, like, think of this as jumping in every time you're in a trade. You're jumping in shark infested waters to get, to get food to feed your family, right? If I can go in there one time and get a whole lot of fish that one time with a big net, right? I'm gonna do that. Instead of going in there every time I go in these shark infested waters to get one fish and come out, I'm risking my life every single time, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth the little small profit. So I want the bigger move. So I will not trade. Or after a big trade, me, I'm gonna take a break anyway for the most part, because right after a big trade, a lot of people, they get that feeling that they're invincible. And now I'm over leveraged now, and I'm gonna do this. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pull back now to make sure that next move is the best move. Because whenever I don't do that, I gotta watch the team. I gotta make sure everything is right. And whenever I break that rule, it doesn't work out right. So we gotta really look at it. Like, I'll give you an example. Like last week, the I was foxing Meta. It was coming down hard. I was like, as soon as Meta hit 407, I'm like, oh, that's a support for me right there. I'm jumping in. Meta ran all the way back up to 630. So but from there it ran all the way up to two to 625, 623. But I didn't put the team in that trade because I think was a Monday, or it was the Monday or so, something like that. And I put the team in a bye-bye trade, right? And I'm like, well, as long as it holds this structure right here, this trade is in play or whatever. This is a trade that you can trade as long as it's in play. Now I'm in meta. I'm in meta, but and that was a big move in meta. It was the bye trade. It ended up breaking down. It gapped down overnight and everything, and that trade ended up never coming back. You know, the snipers got out of that trade when it broke the structure, but then some people got clapped in the trade because you know they never got out of the trade. But I'm gonna tell you, but some of the people that I know for sure that got stuck in that trade, some of the ones that messaged me anyhow, you know, they were in multiple trades. They weren't just in that trade, so they weren't watching or paying attention to it. Now, overnight, obviously, overnight, you can't. There's nothing you can do when something gaps down overnight. You can't control that. But you know, the moment the structure breaks on, regardless of the situation, the move falls apart at that point. But you got to be paying attention. You got to be trying to figure out what this is and what's going on with it. And but yeah, so now that kind of helped me. That kind of made me change the way that because you know everybody in the group, you know, are not at pro level or at where they're ready for certain types of trades. Where you say, you know, I know some of my other traders love it. Like if I post a chart and say if it breaks the structure, you cut this trade because now they got a definitive, you know, place where they can put their stop loss and stuff like that. Others, they need you to tell them or whatever. But that's why I said if I ever come up with a trade like that where I'm not going to be locked in on that trade or whatever, I said, instead of me alerting that as a trade alert, I'm just going to post the chart and tell my snipers, give my snipers a plan, or just tell them what story the chart is telling, and not even alert the trade. You know, I did a few of those. I call them little open book exams. We did one last week with Tesla. Well, sorry, week before with Tesla. We had one with Adobe. And I think there was another one, but yeah, but I just feel like there's different ways to do things. But what I'm trying to do is get people more focused on just one thing. And I also noticed that when some traders are, no matter what the trade is, no matter what it is, whether it's a strangle, whether it's a quick day trade, whether it's a swing trade, whatever, they're in every single trade, you know. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And so sometimes when you notice, we'll have a really big trade, and everyone's now in the next day, everyone's ready for the next trade. I'm like, I'm still in this trade. I'm not alerting another trade while I'm in this trade. I'm concentrating my forces. I may end up adding to this position on a retest or something like that, but I'm still in this trade. And it'd be like that sometimes, but we got the team so spoiled with trades that it's like that. So I just want y'all to consider that. You know, I didn't make it to be this far because I'm just in every single trade. I remember years ago when I dreamed of only taking a few trades, you know, and don't get me wrong, we take some trades around here, but I mean, like we make a lot of money with less trades than a lot of other people. And I get the feedback from a lot of our members that about that as well. So now I just wanted to point it out and just talk about it because this is important. And I just want to make sure that moving forward, that every week we're going to try to cover a different topic instead of doing the lessons learned, because, you know, I know a lot of people have issues with that, but wanted to kind of round it out with that. Any last thoughts, KK?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, utilize the chat, follow the chat. If Antoine says, if this structure breaks and you don't know what structure is, the next question should be, what is the structure? Because you'll probably have like 6 people who are going to come out and tell you, or they're going to give you a level. They're going to say something. Antoine's going to say something. So, you know, I know people see it in the chat that we say, you know, you got to ask questions, you know, because at the same time, we're all in trades too, or we're working and we're trading, and people are doing different things. So utilize this time on Sunday, utilize the time after hours when you might see a lot of us in the chat, like ask questions, you know, be forthcoming about where you are in your journey so that we can help you. I know I've consistently spoken about my journey since I've started trading, and that has helped me to grow because now I'm able to recycle and repeat the things that I learned that are good and follow those things and become disciplined. If you don't become disciplined in trading, you're going to blow your account. It doesn't matter. if you're not disciplined in what you're doing. But that would be one of the main things I would say. Is to definitely become disciplined and to follow along. If you are in our community, definitely follow along in the chat. Everybody's willing to help and we want you to win, but we want you to follow the rules and the processes and procedures that we have to become successful.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I'm going to move on now. Again, just wanted to make sure we covered this and just try to just focus on some knowledge building and just helping people with the with concepts, because it's going to help you out in the long run. It's not just all about getting in plays. So, but yeah, let's move on to, I'm going to cover the economic data first. All right. So we got FOMC this week. So Wednesday at 2 p.m. we got the decision comes out, but then the volatile presser is at 2:30, and that's where the real move happens. So we'll be looking forward. We'll be looking out for that. And but for economic data, we got NY Fed Manufacturing Index Monday. We got Services PMI. We got Manufacturing PMI Tuesday. Retail sales data. So we'll be looking out for that. Building permits, housing starts. Again, we just talked about the rate hike. We got GDP Thursday. And this is yeah, you know what? Yeah, because wow, they put it in. Okay, so we got GDP Thursday. I didn't realize that. Okay. We got jobless claims, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, existing home sales, and we got PCE data Friday and consumer sentiment. So they moved it up. They moved it up early because, like I told you, a lot of the end of the month is more slower at the end of the month. So they crammed all of that into this week. So we got GDP and PCE data on Thursday and Friday. We got retail sales data on Tuesday. We got the Fed decision on Wednesday. Sheesh, this is going to be an interesting.
It's going to be a banger.
On those weeks, man. So look, you're going to get, don't. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Just be ready for this upcoming week, man. Be ready for this upcoming week. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be moving fast. And, like I said, I caution everybody to just to be careful and not to be in every single trade and let's get to it though. But yeah, this is a big one. This is a good one. Interesting. All right, so now let me move on to some charts. Yeah, and just to stay with the theme of concentrating our forces, I'm going to make sure that we're not going to cover too many charts today because I want us to really concentrate our forces. And there'll be a lot of trades and all of them. So yeah, Palantir. So Palantir was added to the Nasdaq on Friday after the after hour session. So at 8 p.m. on Friday. And that should cause some volatility in the stock, right? So I was kind of up on the information before the close and put the team in some calls on Palantir. So this is, so this thing, it looked like it's headed towards the all-time high. So anyone's looking to trade this who aren't in it already, over 76.10, we looking for a move up to the all-time high. That's the target, that 80.91. Now under 72, I'll say under 72.14, looking for a move back down. Got a few targets in here, but you see the channel. So I'm trying to, and what it's been doing, it's been riding. So that's why instead of just the reason I gave the target, I mean the put trigger would be under this 9 EMA because it's been bouncing off of it. For the most part, it's been bouncing off of it. So we want to just be consistent with that and just try to follow that because I want the bigger moves. I don't want the smaller moves if I am going to trade, a stock for a move. I don't want that. I don't want the small move. I want or just the if you get into a trade and then there's a possibility that you get a a quick bounce off the 90 EMA, then it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So just look at the way this trend is and how it's been building up this trend. So if it was to lose that, then I would say that 71.27 possibly, and and then wherever it lines up with the bottom of this trend, because it looked like it's been following this trend on the way up. But yeah, I like the setup on this. I'm bullish on it again. We'll see when the 24-hour market opens, when the Asian futures open tonight, and we'll get an idea of how it looks, because again, we couldn't see, because at 8 p.m. On Sunday, so on Friday at 8 p.m. the market stops moving, and then it starts again Sunday at 8 p.m. So we'll get to see exactly what's going on and who's front running this move. But yeah, so keep Palantir on watch for this upcoming week. Oh, it's RH. So yeah, I actually got another chart that I have ready on H. Second. So RH, they missed earnings, but they got it up. It was a huge guide up on this stock on Friday morning, right? And so they got some price. Sorry, they got some price target upgrades and stuff too. So although they missed earnings, it was a massive guide up, though. I mean, and stuff like that is a little weird to me. But they were saying, and they also said they didn't feel like the tariffs would affect them at all, the Chinese tariffs and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But for this one, over 457.26, looking for a move up to 466.46, and then possibly even further up into 480 and 491. Now, if we were to lose the 429, looking for a move back down to 426.31, and then, back down towards the gap fill at 402. And you see this is a nice little flag breakout for the gap up. It finished green. It gave back some of the gains, but it finished pretty good. So keep RH on watch. Now, just to zoom out for a second, just to give you a little perspective on what's going on. So, instead, you go to the monthly really quickly, just to make it cleaner so you can see exactly what happened. That's a huge breakout right here. And because it was bear flagging, so it reversed that bear flag and broke out of this wedge, and has headed to the upside now. So it's a pretty big move so far on this, and it's bullish. So we'll see what happens. I was looking for some downgrades on it, but I'm seeing some upgrades. And so yeah, keep it on watch. And yeah, this is its monthly out, so we got that. It's still inside on the month, but we got a double inverse hammers thus far. And just the weekly with the 222 reversal to the downside, and the daily got the same energy with a bearish engulfing, a 212. So I'm sorry, 213 bearish engulfing on the daily for this one. So it looked like we got some room down for NVIDIA. Let me get this off of here, man. Then poke out of here. And what y'all feel about NVIDIA, man? Again, it's just I feel like most on Friday, people they moved out of NVIDIA and went into Broadcom. That's what I feel happened last week, and like on Friday. So we'll see if if it breaks down. It looked like it wants to continue down. We'll see. It lost the 50, it lost the 9, and it looked like the 9 EMA is about to cross below the 50. you know, so everything is kind of pointing for a move down. Just looking at this little trend right here. Let me just zoom out again for a second just to see. It just looked like it wants to come down a lot lower here for NVIDIA. So let's see. But we'll have to see. We'll just have to see what happens with this one because again, it looked like it wants to go a lot lower. And so if we were to lose this 132.54, looking for a move down to 130.84, and then 127.40. Now, again, it could. Now, so two ways to play calls on this one. You see, we got this uptrend. It's kind of like and it looked like it's kind of riding this a little bit. So if that's the case, then it bounces here, and you can play off the bounce and play it up to the 50 EMA. So if it bounces off this, you can play this up to the 50 to 137, and then possibly to 138. Now the EMAs are going to move obviously, but or you can play it traditionally, wait until it excuse me, the trigger for calls 139.60. So over 139.60, my first target would be, I'm looking for a move here. First target will be up in here, right? So over 139.60, first target 141.32. The second target would be the bearish gap fill, which would be 142.44. And then we got 143.45. So keep the video on watch. You know, they're shorting it, and I feel like they're moving into maybe geo. Like I said, time frame, full time frame continuity on this one. But yeah, I'm just going to watch for this trend break. If it breaks that, then we got action. MCI. So you know, Palantir got added to the NASDAQ, and they removed Super Microcomputer on Friday. So let's see how this plays out. That's a catalyst for another move down for now. And here's the bearish engulfing on the weekly. So we got a 222 reversal bearish engulfing on the week. And it looked like it got some room down to go on this one. So there's a So I'm looking at this one here. So we lose 35.55, looking for a move down to 33.36, and then 31.06. Now, if we were to clear 37.55, looking for a move up to 38, and then 38, and then we gotta, because there's a small gap here, but my first target would be that 50 EMA, and then after there, we can go up into this area here. So the level. So yeah, so my first target, like I said, the 50 EMA at 38, and then we got 39.34. Then we got a bearish gap fill area right here at 40.54 for this one. But yeah, I'm more bearish on it. But again, we're gonna follow the price action. Let me see what happens. See, it went up here, rejected the 90 EMA, and then we got the inverse hammer. It closed under the 50 and the 9, and then we gap down. So let's just see how this plays out. And again, that news should be a catalyst to bring it down even lower, but we will see, because again, we just can't just go off of that. See exactly how everything plays out. Go from there. All right, so I got another chart for y'all. Oracle. Let me. Here is Oracle. Oracle. And this chart. Yeah, this Oracle chart. We got you see this trend. We got this trend right here. I mean, it's not really that big of a trend, but it looked like we got this reversal here. We kind of bounced here, but if we were to lose this 170, 164, looking for a move down to what I say, 170, 164, looking for a move down to 167.99. You know, this, but again, this was I thought Oracle should have like I would have thought it would have recovered by now. Went up here, rejected the 50 EMA. We got the reversal, came down. So but the volume wasn't as strong. The bearish volume wasn't as strong. That's why I'm like, okay, are we going to bounce off this trend line right here, or and it's not really a solid trend line. You know, it's not that many touches, but I just zoomed out. You can see this on the weekly. If you look at it on the weekly, it hasn't touched it a lot, but it's been down here. We got other levels that we can, other ways to look at this. If we don't look at the trend line, you can see that it's actually at a support level across. That's where I got the levels there also. And that's why that would be the target if it was to break down. But we'll see exactly how this plays out. Now, if we were to clear 176.14, looking for a move up to 178.10. I'm sorry, yeah, 178.10. And then the next target would be 180, 150. 182. So we got some nice upside if we were to do that, because then we start getting into that gap fill. And but yeah, so just keep Oracle on watch. It's at a point where it's a make or break point at this stage right here for Oracle, and that's where I like to get into plays or just start to watch them when they get to that stage where we should be keeping an eye on it. So yeah, that's Oracle. Yeah. Let me go. I like the way Meta finished on Friday too. The way Meta finished on Friday. Meta came down here and now it was a lot of volume that came in there. With some bearish volume that came in. Now, y'all know if you were to not necessarily back test, but let me find it. Let me find it for y'all. Hold on. Yeah, well, anyhow, I was just looking for a post that I kind of post in the chat a lot, but pretty much this was an old post. I'm just gonna bring it up on the screen I'm just gonna bring it up on the screen. Find it first. So everyone could be on watch. But like I said, when you follow one stock, you can do stuff like this, right? Oops, sorry. So this was from December of last year, December 15th last year. That's crazy. It's December 15th today. I didn't even realize that that was the date. But fun fact, since 2021, 8 out of 10, and this was last year when I wrote this, 8 out of 10 of the last quad witching Fridays, Meta ran like a bat out of hell into the final 20 minutes leading into the close. So, you know, anticipating a huge move up, a huge move in either direction tomorrow morning. We got that move. But yeah, when you study a stock, you can come up with these things, and remember these things. And so we got quad witching coming up, and you know, and Meta, so I'll be keeping a close eye on Meta this week and looking for a move on Meta. Now Meta ran up a lot. We had all-time highs again, but I like how we finished right here. It's been, if you notice, ever since Meta reclaimed the non-EMA, it's been right in this non-EMA. We got this little consolidation going on right here. It finished right here. We got a 222 reversal. What's that? A 212 reversal. And but Meta finished right here at the non-EMA. And that was some good volume that came in on Friday, bear volume that was, you know, higher than the previous day's volume. And so let me look at the weekly first in this. Yeah, so Meta finished up here on the week. So it's like that's not a doji, but it's like it's almost like a doji, not a doji though, because you can see like the whole candle is just like it's almost like the bulls and bears are kind
What's
of
up, Doji?
A doji is when the candle, like when the price of the candle, it finishes at where, like, close to where the opening price and the closing price are like very close. Like, for example, this one, this is not really a doji because Meta opened on so this is the weekly. It opened at 623.92 and it closed at 620.35. So like within a $3 move of itself. So it's where bulls and bears pretty much agreeing on the same price, and you get that the body of the candle is real flat, and the wicks are almost like the same too, right? So that's doji. But no, they got other types of dojis too. But I'm just saying this is an interesting candle here. Let me see how the month is shaping up. See, this is the month on Meta. But yeah, we still got a lot of time in this month. But what I feel like could possibly happen is we get a bounce, but we will see. We're not just going to play a bounce. We will see if we get a bounce, right? Look for one and go from there. Actually, let me do some surgery on this candle for a second and see if I can see anything. Oops. So it's always good to do surgery sometimes because some things you can't see when you're just looking at a candle. You want to just get more data, see what's going on. And I don't know about that one. Sure about that one. See. Look at this so many ways. Now, again, remember, I did surgery on the daily candle. So now we're looking at a session hourly because I just wanted to get some more, I needed more precision on what these candles were doing. And then I can go move back up. Look at some things first. That's all. But that's what we're doing right now. Go up to daily. This now. Okay. So, sense. But yeah, the lower time frame kind of gave me a better view of what was actually going on with the trend. Couldn't really see. I got it here now, but you gotta just move it around until you get it right. And sometimes there is no trend, but we see one here, right? So, all right, cool. So, but yeah, just I wanted to just went on the lower time frame to get some levels on Meta for a sec, and let me just put it up here too. So yeah, that's a high. Let's make sure I'm off that high. But yeah, so we got the daily chart on Meta. Let's see if we break down or we bounce off of here. The trend is bearish, but we finished at the 9 under 616.89. I'm gonna just say under 616.66. Let's go there. Let's go there. Under there, we got to move down to 615.80. And then down to 608.95. Now, you know me, I don't like playing those small moves. So what I'm gonna say is now keep in mind the non-EMA will move because it's based off the price. So if Meta gaps up, the non-EMA is not going to be at 615.80 anymore. So that's why I'm not going to make that an official level or anything like that. If we get a gap up tomorrow, that thing gonna move. But I don't want to play near this level. Let's see if Meta lose this level. And that's 616.66, and then we got a nice move down to 608.95 out in that area. Now we can probably obviously we can play we'll play it how it comes. Now over 631.08, we're looking for a move back up to that all-time high, back up to 638.40 and higher. But yeah, we'll just play it how it comes. Now, if Meta just bounce off this trend line, right, off this trend, then we can play that move too. Play that up to 629.27, and I'm sorry, 629.67. But yeah, we'll see how Meta. We'll play it as it comes. Again, this is an interesting candle. We will, but it's good when you do surgery on it, you get to see exactly what it looks like and why it looks the way it does. But yeah, I like the setup on that. I like the way it finished. A lot of things were selling off and it kind of like held up. We go over to Broadcom. Now Broadcom's at all-time high, so at all-time high. We got a lot of stuff going on now. So there are no previous levels, you know, we in price discovery for Broadcom at this point. So we just have to wait and see how this plays out. I went down to a lower time frame so we can at least get some candles on it, you know, to kind of see what's going on. But look, if it was to take out right now, like it's at the all-time highs now. So if we were to take out that all-time high, that 228.70, expect a nice move up to, well, you know, 230 is obviously imminent at that point. So 230 and then 235. And then I'm gonna say if over 235, I hate to be the guy to say this. If it goes over 235, that thing going to 250. So yeah, but if we were to lose, yeah, that's a long way down. So it's just what I said. Look, because this ran so much on Friday, you'd have to wait a long way down for the trigger for it to get down to 221.11 before it start to fill that gap. So, you know, look at a lower time frame like the session hourly. We already got a what is that, a 223 reversal right here. So you know, it's this likely could retest. Looking for if this was to take out that 222.78, you know, we on a session hour, we looking for a move. It already did. Looking for a move down to VWAP at 219.93, call it 220, and then possibly even lower. But we'll just have to see how it plays out because again, this stock is overbought like crazy. Now, again, they did have a good earnings, and but you know, the guy was pretty significant, and looked like everybody just flushed out of Nvidia and came over to Broadcom. So let's just see how things play out this week, and go from there. To Apple. All-time highs almost every day this week. You know, it just kept hitting all-time highs. Well, like last week, it just kept hitting all-time highs. Now, the last 2 days, it didn't, but you see, look, so we hit all-time highs on, what's this? Well, this was for the last few weeks. So the last few weeks, you just look every day, it was quietly going up, hitting new all-time highs. Every single day, it made a new all-time high.
That's more of a doji candle right there for people who were trying to really understand.
Yeah, right here, doji. So yeah, so Apple, you know, it wasn't really any fundamental reason why it was running, but you know, it was just it was running. It got a few price target upgrades, but it was like, but it was quietly running. It wasn't because of like sales or anything like that. Just running. You know, I was checking. So yeah, for Apple, we would have cleared that 249.29. Look for a move back up to 250.80. That's the all-time high. And so, but yeah, this thing has been moving. And look at the 9 EMA. Just want you to pay attention to this 9 EMA because that's what it's been tracking it up the whole time. So we would have lose that 246.24, looking for a move back down to 244.81. And we'll just have to see what happens with this because again, Apple's been running, but it looked like it's just consolidating, like it wants to go higher. Again, zoom out, look at the weekly on this. This is just, when I see candles like this, it's just a little alarming to me. But when you look at the trend, zoom out, no, it's not that alarming. It looked like Apple has some more room to go up. You see that bullish flag? It broke out of the bull flag and it's on the move. So it looked like Apple still has some room in it for continuation after this bullish flag breakout. It's a pretty big move right here. If you don't see that. So I think we got more room back into this stock for it to go.
With Apple having all of these highs and with everything being unprecedented prior, and like, how do you read the chart when we don't have information prior to them ever reaching this point? Did I ask that question in a way that you understood?
Yeah, but I'm like, what I'm looking at, so that's why like I just said right just now, I see a bullish flag right here. Now, if you look up, if you go into, if you in the how-to guide, right, we got it's a section in there that has chart patterns in there. And if you look at a bull flag, it show you what a bull flag setup, what a bull flag pattern does. So like the previous flagpole, then you got the consolidation, it breaks out and it normally runs about the length of the previous flagpole. So I'm like, once I zoomed out and looked at this weekly chart, I'm like, Apple could actually continue on because I zoomed out and I saw that this was actually a bullish flag pattern that was trading in. So it's all about this. I'm looking at the setup. That's why we go back and talk about the structure at that point. So there's no price discovery. Like we were just talking about that with Meta and there's a few other stocks because like you said, a lot of these stocks are at all-time highs. But it's about like we were trading Tesla last week, and right before it got to the all-time high, I think somebody has said like Tesla already ran like $22 or whatever, or $23 or whatever. I said that doesn't matter. Look at this setup. I don't care if it ran $23 already. Look at the setup on it. It looked like it wants to. If it breaks out of that move, if it breaks out of, I forgot what level it was. I'm like, it's out of here. And so yeah, so we but yeah, it's all about the setup. But yeah, that's something that's why but with a lot of stocks though, like once you run out of price once we're in price discovery, even with Meta, I went and looked at a lower time frame to kind of get more candles to see what to do some surgery in the candle and see exactly what was going on. But in this situation, I simply zoomed out, like in the trading Bible, when in doubt, zoom out. So right on this chart, on this channel, on this one, I'm like, all I saw was that I knew we were at all-time highs, but I'm like, I gave one level, but I wanted to just get a closer picture of what was going on. I mean, a better picture. So I zoomed out and I was able to see, that's a bullish flag breakout. So we know how they play out. So it's just about the pattern too. So, but yeah, that's why I'm gonna say to y'all, like, so for everybody that's on here, like if you just, whether you, one of our members or you just in the free Discord, you got access to the training materials in there. Just take your time and go through those training materials because I got everything laid out that's going to help you. And so you won't because if you start from the bottom and work your way up, but only moving on when you understand something, then you'll be able to put it all together because again, chart patterns, and again, you can see whatever you want to see. Some people see, they got those pictures where some kids see, a donkey and somebody else see an elephant or whatever. So you got chart patterns, it's whatever you see. But I'm just going off of, there's some pretty well-known chart patterns that if you look in there, you'll see, and it got how they play out. And so sometimes you want to look and see what the chart pattern is what's forming. And so you can anticipate a move and anticipate where it's likely to retest if it was to come down and stuff like that. So, yeah, so it's just about that too. So just, everything ain't going to make sense right away if you but you got to build up from the bottom and just work your way through it. But yeah, so that's why I didn't have any levels. I went and zoomed out and I saw a bullish flag. So yeah, that was a good question. That was a great question. So thanks for asking that question. And then we got green oscillator bar here on the weekly too. So let's just see how things play out with Apple. I would like a nice pullback, but it doesn't look like it wants to let up. But the market ran a whole lot this week. I mean, we got a little small pullback, but you see with all of the economic data that I mentioned this week, there's a lot to, and remember, so a lot of people don't understand the significance of the economic data, but it's like if you're going to the beach, you want to know if it's going to be a tornado this day, if it's going to be a hurricane that day, or if it's just going to be some scattered showers. That's going to give you the volatility and let you know with the forecast. So that's why we have these meetings too. We got an FOMC, we got everything else I mentioned, but we got a lot of economic data. So we love this. This is trading gold. They gave it all. This is our Christmas present right here. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out. So just be ready. And I look forward to everybody. I look forward to trading with everyone this week and having a great week this week. So let's lock in and I'll see you all later. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Antoine.
I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
No problem.
Later, thanks.